What's up? It's your boy Austin Rutherford back here again where we talk business, finance, and real estate. Today we're taking some time to give back to you. We greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos, and we get a lot of questions on what certain things mean, or they want clarification on a video maybe. So we went through the comment section, we picked out some comments or questions that we're going to go through and answer here specifically. So as you're watching our videos, make sure that you're always smashing that like button for me, hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get all of our content going forward. But drop comments in the comment section and questions that you have about real estate or about the video. And then every couple of weeks, we're going to do another video like this, a Q&A, where we're able to answer your questions. So make sure you drop questions in the comment section. And this is our first time doing a Q&A. So if this was valuable, just drop an emoji in the comment section. If this sucked, let me know. But hopefully it's valuable, and we'll continue to do this for you. So one of the first questions we got is simply, what is wholesaling? So wholesaling is a way to get into real estate with no money. So what do? You go out and you find a seller to sell you a property for $100,000, and you go out there and find a buyer to buy that contract from you for $110,000, and then you make the margin in the middle. So that's the simplest term of what it is. There's a lot of nuances in between. I'm gonna actually have a full video on what is wholesaling, and it breaks down the entire process. But you get somebody to sell for a price, you get somebody to buy for a higher price, and you make the difference in between. So right there with wholesaling, one of the questions that we get is, how much time do you have to find a buyer? So if you find a seller for 100, how much time do you have to go out there and find that buyer? So it goes back to what your contract says. So within your contract, there should be some contingency clauses. If you have an inspection period or a business partner approval period or whatever it is, there should be a contingency clause. So you put it in contract today, and your inspection contingency says, hey, we have the rights to inspect this property over the next 14 days. If we, find something that, is outside of the scope of work or costs more than what we expected, we reserve the right to cancel this contract. So during that 14 days, you go out there and you get the property inspected, you get pictures of the house, you make sure that it was actually in the condition that they said the property was in. And then during that same 14 days, you are able to go out there and try and find a buyer to buy the property so you can assign your contract to them. They're not buying the property, they're buying your rights to the contract, which in theory is the property. So to answer your question, how much time do we have to find a buyer? It depends what your contract says. So put an inspection contingency in there and make sure that it's long enough to allow you time to go out there and find a buyer. Next question says, could you also wholesale deals to those we buy house cash signs? Absolutely. We're cash buyers. So we wholesale deals and we buy deals. So people call us all the time and we buy deals from wholesalers all the time. We just paid a $60,000 assignment fee a couple weeks ago to a wholesaler. So yes, absolutely. Call everybody to get somebody that'll buy the property from you. So this is a long question, but it basically says, so if you go out there and you find a seller, and then you find a buyer, what stops that buyer from just going behind your back and taking the deal out from under you? So if you're selling it for $110,000, why don't they just go to the seller and get it for $100,000? So that's a phenomenal question. So you spend marketing on finding these deals, so your value to get paid is because you found a deal that makes them money. So in theory, a good business, a savvy businessman doesn't care about how much money you're making as long as they're making what they want to make. So in theory, they wouldn't care. You assign the deal, you make money, they make money, it's a win-win all the way around. But a lot of times people count pockets, so they'll go behind your back and try and go to the seller to buy the house. So that's the importance of vetting your buyers. You want to make sure that the buyers are legit and serious, and ask around other people, like, hey, do you know this buyer, John Doe? Is he a serious buyer? Oh no, man, he screwed me over, he stole a seller from behind me. Don't give him the address. But if everyone's like, yeah, he's legit, he's a great buyer, then give them the address. So there's always a risk that they do go behind your back and try and take it from the seller. But the good thing is you already have it in contract. The first contract signed is the legally binding contract. So if it's in contract, then they can't sell it to somebody else until it's out of contract. Now, if you go past your inspection contingency or you miss a closing date or something like that, technically the contract's invalid, and then they can sell it to whoever they want to sell it to. But the contract is what protects you from that. What was the timeline from the first time you sent out a mailer to buying your first property? So we've sent out mail and we've got a call from a seller and we've closed it on the first ring, on the first phone call. So, 24 hours is the fastest, but also I've been mailing to people for 2 years in a row and then they finally call us back, and then we end up buying the property. So there's no one answer to that. You know, you can do a ton of marketing and it just might take them a year to call you back, but then you buy it a year later. So marketing is all about consistency. You got to stay consistent with the marketing, and then that's how the deals will continue to come in. The next question is, I'm having trouble buying a rental property because of the down payment. Is there any hack to that? So two answers to this. Yes. So if you have an FHA loan, you only need 3.5% as a down payment. So if it's a $200,000 house, you only need $7,000 as a down payment. If it's a $100,000 house, you only need $3,500 as a down payment. So that's one hack. The other hack is to do the BRRRR method. So the BRRRR method is to buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat it. So you buy it with other people's money, you renovate it with other people's money, you rent it, you collect money, and then you go to a bank and you refinance it. So let's say you buy it for 50, you put 25 into it, you're all in for 75,000, and then you go to refinance it and it appraises at 100 grand. The bank gives you 75% of that 100 grand, so they give you back the $75,000 to pay off your lender, and then you're left with a house that you own that you never put any your own money into. So I'm gonna link a description down below that breaks down exactly the full strategy on the BRRRR method in detail, so make sure you check that out. The next question says, when you refinance, are you always guaranteed to be pre-approved, or sometimes are you not approved on a refinance? So the answer is, it's definitely not a guarantee. So yes, when you go to refinance, they still look at your debt to income ratio, they still look at your credit, so you still have to qualify for a loan at that point. So it's definitely not guaranteed. So talk with lenders and talk to them about you doing the BRRRR strategy and refinancing a deal, because last thing you want is you don't want to get all the way into a deal and then them tell you no. Worst case, you sell the deal and still make money, but you definitely want to be having those conversations beforehand. The next question is, how much do you have to pay back a lender when you borrow money? So it's negotiable. You can decide the terms that you borrow from a private money lender. We normally borrow at like 10%. So if we borrow $120,000 to fund a deal, we pay them $12,000 a year in interest, which is $1,000 a month. So if it takes us 3 months, we pay them $3,000 in interest. So we'll pay them $123,000 back, all their principal and all their interest. Next question, I get this all the time, is where do you find all these private money lenders? So I'm gonna link a video in the description that breaks down how to find private money lenders. It's a full breakdown of it, but the easiest answer to it is private money is everywhere. I talk about money to everybody. I tell people about the opportunity all the time. So I talk about it all the time. That's how I get private money. But I'm gonna link the video in the description. Make sure you check it out. The next question is, I'm planning on buying a house this year because the interest rates are so low. Is that a good idea? Absolutely. This is probably the lowest we're ever going to see interest rates. So yes, buy something, use the affordable interest rates that are given to us so you can afford more house. The higher the interest rate, the less house you can afford. The lower the interest rate, the more house you can afford. So absolutely, I think this is a great time to buy a house based on the interest rate. Last question for today is, how do you use the BRRRR strategy in real estate? I already kind of touched on that. Like I said, I'm going to drop a full link in the description that breaks down the BRRRR strategy completely top to bottom. So make sure you check that out. So like I said, this is my first time doing kind of a Q&A type of thing. So if this was beneficial, definitely let me know. Drop a comment below saying this was awesome, I appreciate this, whatever it is. Make sure, as always, you smash that like button. And if you do have questions that you would like answered, make sure you drop it in the comment section below so we can get to it next time around and we can be answering your questions. As always, I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. What's up, everyone? It's Austin Rutherford here, and I just personally want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my YouTube channel, where we talk business, finance, real estate, and how to elevate your life. On this channel, you'll find everything from mindset to marketing to wholesaling to sales and negotiation to flipping houses to raising private money to rentals to Airbnbs. Everything you need to run your own business, you can find on this channel, so make sure you take a look at it. But if you're one of those people who want to work directly with me and build your own real estate company, make sure you check out thereblueprint.com, thereblueprint.com. What this is it's a training and a duplicate of my business. Every way in my business where we make money right now, you get everything. It's from wholesaling to marketing to raising private money to renovating houses to flipping houses to buying rental properties, and the mindset that allows you to do all those things. An in-depth look at everything inside of my business. And on top of that, you get all the documents that go along with it. You get all the scripts, you get all the templates, you get all the Excel spreadsheets, you get all the contracts, you get all the credibility packets. You get literally everything you need to run your own real estate company. And on top of all that, you get live coaching calls with me. So don't miss out on it. Make sure you check out thereblueprint.com. And again, if you have any suggestions on YouTube content, YouTube videos that you want to hear more about, make sure you drop a comment in the description below. If you have something, let me know so we can get that content out to you as quickly as possible. Again, as always, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all the likes, the comments, the subscriptions, everything. Hope to see you on the next video. Peace.